And the Irrawaddy River, a languid giant, snakes its way through the heart of Myanmar. It was on the dusty plains of this river valley in the year 849 CE that a new power began to rise. The Burmans, a people with a warrior spirit, established their capital at Bagan. It was a strategic choice. Bagan sat at the crossroads of vital trade routes. This gave it access to both the riches and the knowledge of the wider world. The early rulers of Bagan were ambitious. They yearned to build a city that would reflect their growing power, and so the first temples began to rise from the scrubland. These early structures were modest, built of wood and thatch. They were simple in design, yet they hinted at the architectural grandeur that was to come. These were not just places of worship. They were symbols of a new dynasty eager to leave its mark on the world. As more and more pilgrims and monks flocked to Bagan, the city's reputation as a center of learning grew. The teachings of the Buddha, carried on the winds of change, found fertile ground in the hearts of the Bagan people. The early years of Bagan were a time of consolidation and expansion. Rulers fought to subdue rival kingdoms and secure their borders. Yet, even as they waged war, they also sowed the seeds of culture. It was this delicate balance between conquest and creation that would define Bagan's destiny. The year 1044 CE marked a turning point in the history of Bagan. A young king named Anarakhta ascended to the throne. He was a visionary leader with a thirst for conquest and a deep reverence for the teachings of the Buddha. Anarakhta's reign saw the unification of much of what we now know as Myanmar. His armies marched south, conquering the Mon kingdom of Thatan. This victory was not just a military triumph, it had profound cultural implications. The Mons were followers of Theravada Buddhism, a stricter form of the faith than that practiced in Bagan. Anarakhta, recognizing the unifying power of a shared faith, embraced Theravada Buddhism as the state religion. He invited learned monks from Thatan to Bagan. These monks brought with them scriptures and relics. Most importantly, they brought a new understanding of the Buddha's teachings. Under Anarakhta's patronage, Theravada Buddhism flourished in Bagan. Monasteries and temples sprang up across the plains, transforming the city into a major center of Buddhist learning. Anarakhta's legacy was not just one of military conquest. He had laid the spiritual foundations upon which the golden age of Bagan would be built. Following Anarakhta, a succession of devout rulers continued his legacy. They poured wealth and resources into transforming Bagan into a dazzling spectacle of Buddhist piety. The city became a vast canvas, upon which the faith of an empire was etched in brick and stone. Skilled artisans and craftsmen from across the land converged upon Bagan. They were drawn by the patronage of the royal court and the chance to create enduring works of art. Thousands of temples, stupas, and monasteries rose from the plains. Each structure was a testament to the skill of its builders and the devotion of its patrons. The soaring spires of the Ananda Temple, a masterpiece of symmetry and grace, seemed to touch the heavens. The Damayangi Temple, a colossal monument of laterite brick, spoke of power and permanence. Inside these temples, walls were adorned with intricate murals depicting scenes from the life of the Buddha and the Jataka tales. Sculptures of celestial beings and mythical creatures guarded sacred spaces, their serene smiles radiating an aura of peace. But the true beauty of Bagan lay not just in its individual monuments. It was in the sheer scale and ambition of the undertaking. Bagan became a pilgrimage site for the devout from across Southeast Asia. They came seeking enlightenment and leaving behind offerings that further enriched the city. This was a golden age for Bagan, a time of peace, prosperity, and unparalleled artistic achievement. The religious fervor that fueled Bagan's architectural splendor was matched by its economic vitality. Positioned at the crossroads of trade routes that crisscrossed Southeast Asia, Bagan became a prosperous commercial hub. The lifeblood of the city flowed along the Irrawaddy River. Traders from distant lands sailed upriver, their boats laden with exotic goods. Silks and spices from India, porcelain and jade from China, and precious metals and gemstones from the highlands all found their way to Bagan's bustling markets. The city's workshops hummed with activity as artisans transformed raw materials into exquisite crafts. Goldsmiths fashioned intricate jewelry, weavers created vibrant textiles, and potters produced delicate lacquerware. These goods, prized for their beauty and craftsmanship, were traded far and wide, bringing further wealth to Bagan. Bagan's rulers, wise to the importance of trade, invested in infrastructure. They built irrigation canals that transformed the arid plains into fertile rice paddies. They established a system of weights and measures, ensuring fairness in trade. They even minted their own coinage, a sign of the kingdom's economic sovereignty. Section 5. Shadows lengthen, the seeds of decline. Despite its outward splendor, the seeds of Bagan's decline were being sown. The very piety that had fueled its growth contained within it the potential for its undoing. As the number of temples and monasteries multiplied, so too did the demand for resources. Vast tracts of land once used for agriculture were granted to religious institutions. These institutions, exempt from taxation, grew wealthier, while the royal treasury began to dwindle. Furthermore, the endless cycle of construction placed a heavy burden on the populace. Farmers were conscripted into labor on temple projects, neglecting their fields and causing agricultural production to decline. Resentment simmered beneath the surface as the gap between the opulence of the religious elite and the hardships of the common people grew ever wider. The once mighty army, its ranks depleted by constant campaigning and weakened by complacency, was slow to react to emerging threats. On the kingdom's fringes, ambitious regional powers sensed an opportunity in Bagan's growing weakness. The stage was set for a dramatic fall from grace. Section 6. The Fury from the North. Kublai Khan's hordes. In the 13th century, a new power arose on the steppes of Central Asia, the Mongols. Led by the ruthlessly ambitious Kublai Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire expanded at an unprecedented rate. By the late 1270s, Kublai Khan had set his sights on Southeast Asia. His armies, hardened by decades of warfare and driven by an insatiable appetite for conquest, proved too formidable a foe for a weakened Bagan. The Mongols, with their superior military tactics and discipline, swept through the kingdom. In 1287, they captured Bagan itself. The once proud city, its golden spires gleaming in the sun, was sacked and plundered. Temples were desecrated, libraries burned, and countless priceless treasures looted. The last king of Bagan, Narathi-Hapati, fled south, leaving his kingdom in ruins. The Mongol conquest marked the abrupt and brutal end of the Bagan Empire. The kingdom fragmented into smaller rival states, each vying for control of the Irrawaddy Valley. Bagan, once the heart of a mighty empire, was reduced to a shadow of its former glory. Section 7. A Sacred Legacy. Whispers in the Ruins. Though the Mongol invasion shattered Bagan's political unity, it could not extinguish its spiritual flame. The temples, though damaged and looted, continued to stand as silent sentinels on the plains. For the people of Burma, Bagan remained a sacred site. Pilgrims continued to visit, offering prayers and making merit amidst the ruins. Monks seeking refuge from the turmoil that engulfed the land found solace in the shadow of the ancient pagodas. They tended to the damaged shrines, preserving what they could of the city's artistic legacy. They copied and studied the ancient scriptures housed within the temple libraries, keeping alive the flame of Buddhist learning. Over the centuries, nature began to reclaim the city. Trees took root in the crumbling walls, their roots snaking through the cracks in the masonry. Vines climbed the ancient towers, their emerald tendrils weaving a tapestry of life amidst the decay. Yet even in its ruined state, Bagan retained an aura of power and majesty. Section 8. Towards the Light. Rediscovering Bagan's splendor. For centuries, Bagan lay largely forgotten by the outside world. The jungle encroached, shrouding its secrets beneath a veil of green. It was not until the late 19th century that European explorers began to rediscover the wonders of this lost city. Their tales of a vast plain, dotted with thousands of ancient temples, captured the imagination of the world. Scholars, archaeologists, and art historians flocked to Bagan, eager to study its architectural marvels and decipher its enigmatic inscriptions. They marveled at the scale and ambition of the city, recognizing it as one of the great archaeological treasures of Southeast Asia. Restoration efforts, though often hampered by lack of funds and political instability, began in earnest in the early 20th century. The Burmese government, recognizing the importance of Bagan's cultural heritage, has implemented measures to protect the site. However, balancing the demands of tourism with the need for conservation remains an ongoing challenge. Section 9. A timeless treasure, Bagan's enduring legacy. Today, Bagan stands as a testament to the enduring power of faith and the artistic brilliance of a bygone era. Its thousands of temples, bathed in the golden light of dawn, evoke a sense of awe and wonder. They are a poignant reminder of the impermanence of empires and the enduring legacy of human creativity. In 1975, Bagan was severely damaged by an earthquake. However, through the combined efforts of the Burmese government, UNESCO, and international conservation organizations, many of the damaged structures have been restored. In 1996, Bagan was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, acknowledging its outstanding universal value. Bagan continues to captivate travelers from all corners of the globe. They come to witness the sunrise over the temple-studded plains, to explore the ancient ruins, and to experience the spiritual serenity that permeates this sacred landscape. Bagan stands as a timeless treasure, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit.